There are many dark roads that people do not like to take, especially at night. These roads are either haunted by jinn and ghosts, or in many cases they are full of thieves and bandits. Today, through the Real Stories website, we have an appointment with one of the most powerful and very frightening horror stories. Horror and fear to the utmost degree. Our story is titled The Girl on the Road. We hope you like this story. The story of the road girl, the events of this story revolve around a young man called Yazan. Yazan was on his way to his grandfather's village, which is located in one of the remote rural villages. Because of Yazan's work, Yazan was forced to travel at night. Yazan knew that there was a shortcut that would make him reach his grandfather's house quickly, so Yazan decided to travel. During this road, Yazan did not know what awaited him. The road was very dark, and there was nothing on it. Yazan did not meet any cars, and it was not properly paved. Yazan decided to drive quietly so as not to cause any harm to his car, especially since it was new. Suddenly, while Yazan was driving his car, a girl appeared in front of him with her hand on her face. The girl was extremely terrified. The girl started banging on the window of Yazan's car, saying, "Please open the door and take me with you, please save me." Yazan sack, "What is going on with you, my lady?" The girls say, "There is no time to explain. They will come to us at any time. Let us escape from here before it is too late." Yazan did not hesitate to put this girl in the car, as she seemed to be very worried or that she had seen something scary in this area. As soon as the girl entered the car, 4 people appeared in front of Yazan. Yazan looked closely at the 4 people using his car's headlight, and it was a surprise. Yazan did not expect it. The 4 people were almost not people at all. They were 4 distorted faces with not very thick hair, looking at the car with terrifying weapons in their hands. There is one holding a sword in his hand, another holding 2 knives in his right hand and the other in his left hand. The largest of them, whose appearance was very frightening, was holding an electric saw in his hand. The last one was holding a machete in his hand. Yazan felt extremely frightened and began repeating just one sentence. "Who are they? Are they even human?" The girl said, "Please let us escape from here. They will come to us, and if they come, we may not be able to survive and we will lose our lives. Please move the car back and let us escape quickly." It was these words that woke Yazan up, and he immediately started the car and drove in reverse to escape from these strange creatures. As soon as the car moved, these creatures began moving towards the car. The sight of these creatures moving towards the car was very frightening, and each of them had a frightening weapon in their hands. Although Yazan was certain of his ability to escape, especially since there was no other road on it, the sight of the creatures made Yazan's heartbeat reach its maximum level. Yazan managed to escape in the car and returned. Yazan decided to ask that girl, "What happened to you and how did you get here?" The girl answered, putting her hand on her face out of extreme fear. "My car broke down here, and these 4 stopped. I could not control my nerves, so I decided to leave the car and run away." Yazan said, "Do not worry. I will take you to your home and you will be fine." The girl told Yazan that there are ways, a brief one that will get her home quickly. Well, no problem. The girl started pointing out roads that seemed somewhat strange to Yazan. Those roads were as if they were deserted and had no life in them. Yazan began to doubt what was going on with that girl, but he was calming himself down and saying in his secret, perhaps this girl was in a state of shock, and this shock, it made the girl unable to remember the road, and all she was thinking about at the moment was running away from this area and this particular road. 2 hours had passed, and the girl was pointing to Yazan in frightening and broken roads. Suddenly Yazan looked back and discovered that the girl was still holding her hand on her face. There was a part of her face that was clearly visible to Yazan, but this part seemed to be distorted. Yazan stopped the car and said, "Well, it seems that you have lost your way. I will drive to the nearest police station and they will definitely find it. They help you reach your home." The girl replied to Yazan and said, "No, we have arrived. My house is directly in front of you to the right." Yazan looked at the house, and it was a big shock. The house seemed to be broken down, abandoned, and lifeless. Horror began to creep into Yazan's heart again, but it calmed down a little when the girl got out of the car calmly and said, "Thank you, sir, for giving me a lift." That girl headed home. Suddenly, Yazan heard strange sounds coming from under the car. This was not the only suspicious thing, as 2 strange people appeared to Yazan who were also disfigured. They began knocking with all force on the car window, which greatly frightened Yazan and made him unable to concentrate. The next day, when the village learned that Yazan had not arrived, they decided to go out to look for him. The villagers arrived at the old house where Yazan's car was there. The car was intact, but all the tires were punctured, and the windshield was completely shattered. Attempts to find Yazan continued everywhere in that area. But to this day there is no trace of him, as if the earth swallowed Yazan. Everyone lost hope of finding Yazan again, and this road was considered an invalid road, and no one took it again.